Hey everyone, this is Life. Welcome back to my playthrough of Etrian Odyssey 2 Untold After Night. Today we are going to begin the first mission available to you at the beginning of the game. That is required to beat in order to do the rest of the game. Many of you may be already acquainted with it. Some of you may think it's the hardest thing ever and you only just started the game. Well, the game can be a little bit harder than the rest, but in general, this is a pretty easy thing. And this will help us learn the basics and get everything down, especially the mapping part, because that is what has to be explained to us first to really understand how to explore the labyrinth. Thankfully, the tutorial in this game is very, well, it's just a soft pitch of what the controls are, and then you're on your own. And it's really nice in that respect. Most Etrian Odyssey tutorials are kind of like this, so you're going to see what I'm talking about as we talk with the guard. I'll stay a little bit quiet. Good to see you too. Okay. Alright, so he gives you a destination. In this game, the NPCs can give you the destinations before you ever reach them. It's really nice. It's also very good because it allows the game to point you at a very specific spot where otherwise it may have a really hard time doing so. Now he also wants us to map the interior of this red box. Alright, so in order to do these two very challenging tasks, we're going to need to know how to draw the map. So the game is now going to teach us how. So it's going to say that there's a full view, and then there's a zoomed in. The full view allows you to look between the different floors and have a general glance at the thing. Zoomed in allows you to place stuff, draw walls, interact with the map a lot. Very easy. You press the X button to toggle between the two. You can also press the, well, you can use your stylus to switch where the X button is. And when it's in full view, you can go to any spot by clicking on it. There you go. When zoomed in, you can draw walls, put icons down, something I've already done just subconsciously at the beginning without even thinking about it. Touch these icons to access various functions. You know. So these icons over here, so this is pencil, eraser, paintbrush, and eraser tool. All of these are very basic mapping tools that will help you get you where you want to go. And you can put down things like landmarks such as stairs, and doors, memos, events, exclamation points, question marks, the various gather points, which would be take, chop, and mine, and arrows, and the rock, and the foe. And then on the other menu, you get a few more context-sensitive stuff. This would be your drawbridges, your pits, your monuments, your brick walls. I don't know what to say there, man. Post signs, circles, X's, checks. Those are pretty much just there for your own convenience. This is the old item point symbol. This is the old treasure symbol. So these are just vanity symbols for representing things how they used to be. And then you have numbers 1 through 0 to help you label stuff. Alright, now that we know what all the symbols do, you're pretty much good to go. Probably didn't even need the explanations. You can almost interpret these symbols however you want. And you can use the annotation icon. Okay, so the important one around here is the annotation, which lets you mark anything with special notes. Like, say, I run into a door that's locked, but it has a symbol on it, like the moon. Well, I can just put a memo on that door that says moon, and I'll know that that door had a moon on it. Alright? Just for instance, that's what memos are used for. I want to change auto mapping specifications in the auto map sections of the options menu. I will if I have to. I usually don't use that function unless I do something cheeky. We understand. Alright, he gives us 5 medicas. This is very nice because and another reason why I said in the previous episode that I bought an extra medica is, now we have 6 instead of 5. These medicos are fairly important for keeping your health up. Sometimes your medic doesn't last the whole trip, sometimes it's just nice to have people use healing at proper times. Survivalists are really fast, so if you need somebody on to get healed right now, it's a lot easier to do it with a medica than it is to do it with a medic. It's going to tell us that we have skill points just in case we forgot, and we're good to go. We are basically now on our own to map without any more hand-holding until we run into some specific stuff. So, starts off with a pretty simple loop. Fairly nice, very easy. We've got a fork in the road, and oh my god, there's a shiny yellow object in the distance. Whatever could it be? Well, your first instinct, of course, is to approach it very cautiously and then press the A button when you're right next to it, and it will tell you that it is a large box. Note that the markings on this box highly resemble the symbol right here on your symbols menu. This is the old treasure chest icon, and what you usually use to mark these. In the newer Etrian Odysseys, they have this adaptable chest icon that shows whether the chest is open or closed, and you can use that instead. So either way you want to mark the treasure chest, you can. Of course, the adaptable one is nicer since you can tell which ones you have opened and which ones you have not. Alright, our first fight is the most basic one in the game, the forest meow plus the hedgehog fight, and they put the hedgehog in the back. Take advantage of this, because hedgehogs hurt a lot less when they're back there. So, what you want to do, we're going to take Raging Edge. Probably don't need to use an ailment in this fight, though I'm going to say that Nerve is particularly effective against the snail, because I've seen it land on it almost all the time. I could put up the warrior song, it's probably fine. And then we're also going to shoot that guy, probably try to sleep him. Let's do that. Okay, we land our status ailments, which is pretty nice. Allows us to basically go through the fight without any problems whatsoever. And because sleep is such a nice ailment, this hedgehog cannot act, and we basically just get a freebie by hitting L button, which is the auto button. L is, it's a basic functionality of attacking. L is auto. You usually do not want to use auto, only use auto when you know basic attacks are going to win, or if you're so obscenely overpowered in the area that you're in that you just need to go to the fights really fast. So, that's when you use auto properly. Usually you just basically don't use auto until everything's in the clear. Right over here we're going to run into an event. Tetsu raises their voice as she's singing. You look and find something with dangling vine. Okay, well, that's just weird. It's actually a whip. Dark hunters can use whips, so it's pretty nice that she spotted it. Assume gave it an... Try recover it, or we can ignore it. So we're going to climb the tree. We can send anyone to climb the tree. I'm going to send Venus. Survivalists can pretty easily do this, right? Now that Venus is up there, she must decide what to do next. You can cut off the entire branch and make a giant racket and get attacked. You can just untangle the whip, or you can get down from the tree. Venus succeeds in freeing it, and we get a lost whip. So this is fairly important for an event in the bar, which we will be doing later. For now, it's just an event to make you question how the labyrinth works, really. And also introduce you to to blindside enemy encounters in case you accidentally do it wrong. Did I mention that this place has very serene music that sometimes I listen to when I'm sad? I don't know, it's a very uplifting, mysterious song. Second fight, double moles. Moles are pretty powerful for beginner enemies. We're going to be using attack skills on them, because that just makes sense. I'm going to try Hypno there. I will try Heavy Strike, and probably don't need to use those. I'm going to try Blind here. Alright, so that one's out of commission. The other one, oh, well, they both got their attacks off anyhow, so that's a little bit disappointing. This one has most of its health gone. I can probably just rush it and be okay. Yeah. When you have two bow users, you can snipe off anything with about 50 or less HP. Which, most of these enemies, they don't have a lot of HP, so you can pretty easily take advantage. An early game cure is going to heal all of your HP. As the game progresses, you may need to use heal more than once to heal a character, but it's still a fairly cheap healing skill that is really worth using. As we stroll through the forest, we spot hued flowers at the base of the tree. Their vibrant colors stand out amongst the green as if luring you to them. Then notice something shining in the center of those flowers. How could a flower gleam? Always approach and take a closer look for your sanity. Sure. Seems like a bad idea. Such a close distance, you receive a face full of pollen, and Teto begins to sneeze uncontrollably and take 15 damage. Well, that's not good. We should be more careful in explorers in the forest. How dare we? Oh, but in return, we also get Medica, so it's worth it. Just waste. I mean, it burns 3 of your TP to heal off the 15 damage to your character, but you do get a Medica 2 for it. Most temporary events I don't mark with memos. If an event persists, I'll usually mark it. Now, I'm intentionally going where all the dead ends are first, as to trigger all the events in them and to make sure that I map everywhere. That means I am going to use my knowledge of the game to clear out as much of the dungeon as possible. See, a clear stream. Okay, this sounds important. Let's see, does this heal our TP at all? Yes, and that is why this event is so good. So, I think this is a once a day you can come here and get 10 TP from the water. It's a really nice event to have when you're starting out, because it allows you to think that you can use your skills pretty freely in the introductory sequence, and yes, you can. Okay, we got moles. Alright, we've already seen the double mole set, but this is still the early game where anything can happen, so I'm going to probably be keeping this in. So we're going to try Raging Edge, Hypno, Attack, and Blind. Okay, so we got that one asleep before. Oh wow, one hit with... Okay! That's pretty good. That's a pretty good fight. So, if the stars align, sometimes you can just one-turn kill a fight. It's pretty nice. Moles don't have a lot of HP, so it's pretty possible with the moles. The hedgehogs are a little harder due to their resistance to Pierce, which is a very strong attack element in this early game otherwise. Alright, we've got pillar here, a little bit of walls going around it. So these circular patterns may look a little suspicious at first, probably just going to ignore them and think, well, why is Life Break so interested in these circular patterns now? But it's reasons, of course, you'll see later. And it is a really designed place. It makes you feel like these really are old castle ruins, or whatever type of ruins they are. Could be castle, could be anything. Alright, so we can go down there, or we can continue forward. I'm going to continue forward as there is something over here that we want to witness. Or get. However you want to say it. Alright, so once you get deep enough in the rabbit hole, which is this red box, you start running into enemy sets of more than 2 enemies, and these become substantially more dangerous than what you were used to. I'm going to try doing that same here, where I used Hypno here, and then attack, Blind here, and see if that works again. Did not land the blind, landed the sleep, killed the dude, killed the other dude. Alright, we did really good, and that leaves the snail with the defense buff. So snails with defense buffs, can be a little bit tough for my team to crack because it's all physical. If you have a magician, it's just like, oh, it doesn't matter, just burn it with fire anyway. But no, that's not the case here. I do have to burn a lot of attacks on it to clear it. Alright, so there's items in the game that have this orange tinge to them when you beat them, which would be the hiding snail in this case. Those are called ingredients. More on them later. They'll just kind of sit in your inventory. They don't actually clog up any inventory space, so it's safe to have in your inventory. Alright, we have our first item point down here, the take point. It gives us access to small flowers. Now, Survivalist, as well as Beast, have skills that allow you to gather more from spots, and all classes have a skill that lets you gather more from certain spots. But the Survivalist and the Beast are able to get from all spots with the same skill. And basically, you can get a lot of stuff out of these item points if you build a team that is dedicated to them. Anyhow, I lost my train of thought. So, gonna go over here. We're gonna grab the token that we need to complete this challenge. Now, don't worry about this small indented space to the left. You can't really do anything with it. Wooden plate. Find a treasure box with a wooden token in it. And suddenly... deer show up. In those circles that I found so suspicious. Times remaining the deers arrive at the same time as the enormous deer, but the deer, from the look of it, does not seem to consider you a threat, and shows no signs of charging towards us, which is pretty nice of it. So let's just not run into it, and we're gonna be okay. Oh, now the game's gonna teach us about foes. Enemies that are visible in the labyrinth before being encountered are called foes. Foes are extremely powerful and not to be messed with, especially on expert difficulty, where the extra damage you take makes them obscene. Foes appear on the map so you can observe their behavior. It's really nice. And that's all there is to them. So we mark the box which we got the token from. We're going to take a quick look over on the wall on the left side just to see if there's anything we can reach. Mole Hedgehog Strut. I'm going to want to direct all non-piercing attacks over here on the right. So let's say Hypno plus Raging Flash over there, then triple attack over here with a blind. Maybe you don't even need to use Blind Arrow. Maybe my characters are fast enough to handle the mole without it. Which is not typical, but I'll take it. Alright, pretty easy set out of the way. Any set with just 2 enemies is fairly easy to deal with, regardless of the difficulty. This team also is a little bit, because it doesn't use the protectors, a little bit more offensively geared and ready to handle such threats. Now there's you're gonna see mushrooms every once in a while on the first stratum, and these indicate shortcuts. A lot of them can't be activated from the side you find them on, but just keep an eye out for them, because you might find the ones you can activate and they may lead to treasure rooms, or they may lead to areas where you've already been before. They're very nice. They're called two-way shortcuts and one-way shortcuts. More on them later, of course. Managed to slip through the passage where the deer was, and now we gotta continue going. Oh man, so now that we have learned how the deer moves, they're gonna make sure we know how the deer moves by putting a few more in, just to be sure that the first time you got by it wasn't a complete and total fluke. And such, the deers are made in such a way that you have to go around them differently. Now you can speed up your movement by pressing and holding the B button as you move forward. It's fairly nice. Alright, sometimes you're going to run into enemy sets that we've already seen a lot before, and I cut straight through them. And that's just called the magic of editing, so... yeah, once we start running into sets for like the 3rd, 4th time, they typically get cut out and skipped, as you've already seen what they're like. We're so close to town, and yet there's still another deer in the way. We gotta get past it. Have to attain our goal and march past this deer. So easy. Alright, hey guard, what's up? I'm glad to be back here safely as well. You sure did. Okay, show me when... that guard takes your map and examines it carefully. After his appraisal complete, his voice is stern. Okay, he doesn't think my map's finished. Well, darn. So, you do need to use your paint and color in all of the tiles. Otherwise, it should be complete. So, if he's just upset that I didn't color in all these tiles, we can easily fix that. So, ding ding, there we go. And that should be everything. Okay, report the completed map. Alright, sweet. So if you forget to paint all the floors because you haven't really been paying attention, remember to do so. In this game, there's no penalty for not painting over floors. FOE is vision-based if you've already swung it into your vision or not. So it's safe to just paint everything. In older Etrian Odysseys, it was wise not to paint on all of the floors that you have not stepped on because of how their vision system works. In this game, the vision system works completely differently, so you're basically safe to paint anything you see. It's really nice, actually. Really, really nice. Alright, now that we're done talking about mechanics of yore, how long have I done this for? 20 minutes, that's pretty good! we're gonna stop there. So hey there everyone, this has been Liverick. As always, thank you for watching. Next time, we're going to turn this mission into the Duke, and we're going to begin exploration of the rest of the first floor. I'm gonna see you guys then. Bye-bye.